International Dairy Week presents Around the Barn. Hello, I'm your host, Casey Treloar, and this will be the online space where those in the Australian dairy industry can connect with each other, as well as those right around the world in the lead up to Australia's premier dairy show in January 2022. This will be the one-stop shop where you can catch up with our sponsors, exhibitors and judges to talk all things cows, technology and showing down under.
My name is Stacey Lappert and I'm the event coordinator for International Dairy Week. With the recent announcements made by the Victorian State Government announcing the planned reopening of the state, our team would like to share with you the proposed direction for IDW 2022. As of the 24th of November, Victoria is predicted to be 90% double vaccinated. With this, we are pleased to announce that there will be no cap on event numbers. Masks will remain mandatory indoors, however will no longer be required outdoors. We will be monitoring any changes over the coming months to determine whether or not masks will be mandatory inside the ring. At this stage, all attendees to IDW will be required to be double vaccinated unless otherwise exempt. As part of our COVID safe plan and to ensure the safety of everyone involved in the event, we will be implementing a digital ticketing system which will be used for scanned entry in and out of the event. You will be able to scan using the Eventbrite ticket provided to you by email. The COVID safe plan dictates that we must know who is on site at all times during the event. For those who are attending IDW as a visitor, tickets will be available for purchase mid to late November through the IDW website. We are pleased to announce that a new program of events has been finalized for 2022. After an overwhelmingly positive response from exhibitors, we have decided to proceed with the new schedule, which aims to highlight cow comfort in the larger breeds, as they will now be shown first thing in the morning. Following the announcement of Supreme Champion exhibit on the final day of IDW, we will be having a celebration in the Ballantyne Centre. This will be a fantastic opportunity to catch up with other IDW attendees and celebrate the successes of 2022. We are thrilled to be able to move forward with our prestigious event and look forward to seeing everyone in January.
Well, next up on the podcast, we've got Tim Weller, the marketing manager from Worldwide Sires, based here in Australia. Tim, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for welcoming us along here tonight. It's a pleasure to be here, and I think it's a great initiative around the barn. So I listened to all of them the other morning while I was driving and learned a few different things about different people that had already been on that I hadn't learnt before. So it was great to catch up.
COVID has obviously affected a lot of the dairy businesses around the country, or right around the world. How has it affected you guys in terms of delivering your services and products?
I guess on one sense it's been challenging, but on the other side of it, we pride ourselves on having a can-do attitude and making sure things can get done. And one of our staff members has made a very big trip of that and made it to farms in WA in the last couple of weeks. And those guys and people back in South Australia that he's just been at, Mark Patello, so they've really enjoyed, I guess, the dedication of our team trying to get services to people, and border crossings and all those sort of things have been a challenge, but we've always made it happen. We've had cow manager systems put in far north Queensland through this time, so everything's been able to get done. It's just been a challenge in making it happen.
For sure. And look, Tim, a fair bit of what the dairy industry, in particular in Australia, and how we've been able to evolve with technology, systems like the cow manager systems, how does it work and how have you seen it really benefit dairy farmers here in Australia?
Well, I guess every farmer that puts in some kind of cow activity managing system, they go at it with the main aim of helping with reproduction, which everything, doesn't matter where you are in the industry, if reproduction isn't right, the dairy farm struggles, everything comes off that. But I guess what people learn when they put those systems in is the other things that affect reproduction outside of actually finding a cow on heat. So it's the health and nutrition things. I was only talking with a dairy manager yesterday afternoon with some DA issues, and we started looking at graphs on cows in the pre-fresh area, pre-calving, and it was quite easy to identify where some of the problems were. So it's those kind of things that are the extra benefits out of those sort of systems that people really get that they didn't think they were going to get to start with, or it wasn't their first aim of putting it in.
And look, Tim, over the years, Worldwide Sires has become renowned for marketing and having access to some of the best type sires across the world in various breeds as well. Look, what are the exciting bulls on the list at the moment?
Well, it's an exciting time, and I guess we're fairly fortunate in the way that Worldwide Sires is made up of, I guess, the Sire committee at the moment. There's a lot of people in there that are great cow people within their own respective identities, I guess is the way to put it. And that stood us in great stead. And I was only listening to a podcast that Data Gene put together the other day, and they interviewed one of the King brothers, and I guess that emphasis of high type production cows that fit commercial herds is really what we've been about. But because we are a farmer-owned cooperative in the instance of our owners of Select Sires, it's all a farmer-owned co-op. So when farmers sit on the board, they make a directive of what they want. So we've got a directive to cover all parts of the market, not just the type side of the market, but the whole way around. And I guess that then extends into all types of breeds. So we have a different setups around the place for other breeds. We've got a relationship with the Guernsey Marketing Service in the US. They've brought us some exciting bulls of late. JC Penney's been quite popular. New bull designs come along fairly well. We've always had a really good relationship with the Palmyra herd and the Ayrshire breed. Regan's really stood up in the last little while, but other bulls out of his family, Renoke and Reynolds, have been popular as well. The Swiss breed, I guess you look at the La Rainbow operation, and Dynamite really put the herd on the map, and they've just exploded in bulls throughout the industry in the brown Swiss breed. And Sky High is another new one there. The Jersey breed, I guess we've got a couple of people that have put a lot of effort into that, I guess locally, Amy Wright, but then Jeff Ziegler previously, and now I guess you look at the proof's in the pudding, and you look at bulls like Matt, Casino, Chrome, Victorious, the list just goes on. I had classifiers come back to us with information on Geronimo, a new bull with milking daughters in Australia, and how well they're going. But I guess when you look at all that, yeah, Holstein, we really can't complain with where we sit there at the moment. I guess we're blessed with bulls. Griff's done a great job on the Australian standpoint, the milking daughters here, but a bull that I guess was originally brought in when people first started using him. They were using him as a high type bull with some milk, but Doc has really blown everyone out of the water with his ability to improve on the TPI list, the BPI list, but he's making cows, he's making sons. He's got a cow here locally in Australia, Doc Ada, that was a Rockstar bred animal owned by Declan Patton now. We've bought a Moran son that sits down at TLG. Amathium P, he's got semen in the country, well, semen available now. He's got semen shipping all over the world already. But then there's daughters like anyone see on Facebook the other day, Cattle Club put out a video of a cow called SSI Doc Have Not 87, 84. And anyone that saw that, I guess, just got blown away with how good cows can be. And it's just great that she's a doc. She's bred by Select Sires with the SSI prefix. She's got a full brother that we've got semen of, Hollywood, who's been very popular. So it's exciting when you pull all those things together. But I guess other bulls that have been really exciting of late, a bull called Homecoming has been an extreme short supply bull this last couple of months. Luster P is about to get it. He's really coming to the fore at the moment as a new proven bull. Milking daughters in Australia and Canada are really pushing his proof to the top of the level. And then I guess on a TPI level in the US, Renegade, a complete outcome. It was maybe 2019. He was the Holstein International Outcross Sire of the Year. Well, he's come through the top 4 proven proof now, and his sons Conway and Capone are amongst our leading bulls right here, right now. So it's an exciting time to be at Worldwide Sires.
Back to Doc, I mean, he like you said, he's a bull that I think is surprising a lot of people just in terms of his versatility, covering not just type but the components and all of that as well. Is Doc, the latest, well, the modern day, what was Goldwyn and Dorman, is Doc the current big one?
Yeah, and I guess all the guys, the old people at Select Sires have always sort of put Black Star and Chief Mark and those bulls at the top of the tree, and then along came Durham and knocked those bulls off. And I think Doc's just blown all those bulls out of the water at the new level of making high-end production workability type cows, but then to be able to turn out a cow like that, that's up with the best of them anywhere in the world, no matter what you want to look at. She's got sons coming through the system. She'll have grandsons to come through the system, and a cow like that there was quite a few people disappointed that she got sick a couple of days before judging at Expo and didn't make the ring. But yeah, it's a whole new level that I guess it's hard to ever get that combination of both together.
Tim, look, in terms of where the commercial farmer is heading, where are you seeing that tracking? I mean, obviously we're talking a lot about Dairy Week and show cows, but what about the commercial farmer? Where's that future headed?
I guess that's the biggest difference we've seen in the last few years. The commercial farmer is spending more time and more attention on genetics than they ever have. They understand proofs better than they ever have, and they understand genomics better than they ever have. We see a difference in that, though. There's a lot of people that are genomic testing animals because everybody is, but there's others using that to really push ahead and take their dairy business further. And they're using that genomic data, whether it's within our WMS program in mating cows or whether it's identifying heifers to export or even a genetic strategy on which animals to breed to sex semen and those sorts of things. So the power that today's high-end farmer has is it's really powerful in the economics they can really turn out of a breeding decision and the direction they can take that.
A company that's been so involved with the show over the years, how excited are you to see where the future of the show can go?
Yeah, it's always challenging when you sit there during the week and it might be a slow part of the show and you think, so what do we need to do differently? And those things have been added over the years with the machinery out on the oval and the seminars and those sort of things. And I guess just the ideas of turning things up and changing the show schedule around brings some breeders back 2 days in a row instead of maybe just 1 day and those sort of things. So it's always a challenge. We always look at our own site, and I've already had numerous emails with the US about what our plans are for this year and how we're going to do that different and better. And yeah, I guess the thing that always not irks me, but I see it funny, it's not Dairy Week, it should be called Dairy Months. Like, exhibitors take months to get their cows ready to get to the show. It takes us months to get organised for it. So yeah, it really is a dairy event, so it's great.
Certainly, pretty magical time of the year for many of us, certainly those that do make the annual trip, and we're all very much looking forward to catching up again. Tim, thank you so much for joining us on this latest episode of Around the Barn, the podcast here promoting Dairy Week and chatting with everyone right around the world, not just here in Australia. Tim, once again, thanks for joining us. Well, the next judge we're very excited to introduce is Pat Nicholson. Obviously, Pat is renowned for breeding some incredible jerseys under the Jugiong prefix, but Pat has just been announced as our Guernsey Judge for International Dairy Week next year. Pat, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Pat, first of all, take us straight into Jugiong and your background in dairy farming in Australia.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously part of the Jugiong Jersey stud. In 2022, it'll be 90 years since the stud was established. I'm the fourth generation of the Nicholson family to run and operate the herd along with my brother Brendan. So yeah, there's a lot of time and effort gone into it over all those years.
Absolutely. And look, Pat, when you got I guess we'll go into the Dairy Week side of things, and we'll go back to some of your, your cows that you guys have bred and developed. But take us through the phone when you got that phone call to be asked to judge at Dairy Week.
Yeah, certainly. I'm honoured to be asked to judge at the Guernseys at Dairy Week. I did judge the Guernseys in 2011 and certainly enjoyed it then. Very honoured to be asked back to judge again. Looking forward to assessing the cows that are before me, and I'm sure it'll be a very strong show as it was and has been for a number of years.
Yeah, and obviously it'll be a chance for you to pick out some of your own champions in the Guernsey breed. But Pat, look, take us through some of your success over the years with your prefix at Dairy Week.
I guess over the years, we've had a reasonable amount of success. We're lucky enough to have senior champion a number of years ago. We've had a couple of intermediate champions and quite a number of class winners over the years. And we've always enjoyed being part of a very strong Jersey show.
And look, in terms of some of those champions, take us through the cows. Take us through those cows that were able to take you to those heights. Yeah,
well, the senior champion, that was Jugiong Prudence 108. She was excellent, 93, and had previously been reserve intermediate at Dairy Week as a younger cow. I was lucky enough to end up being senior champion there. Probably our most memorable intermediate champion was the cow who was the intermediate champion over her on the day she was reserve, which was a Daydream cow. Certainly the Daydream cow family, a family that is synonymous with our herd, and probably one of our all-time favourite cows that we've done well with at Dairy Week. But over the years, there's been a lot of cows that have, been amongst the action, and it's been a lot of fun and a lot of pleasure from showing those cows.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of us that go to Dairy Week each year with our cows, the goal is, ultimately to stand in the championship lineup. What's that moment like? I mean, we focus on years and years of breeding, but what's that moment like when you do get honoured with a championship?
Yeah, I think it's hard to believe at the time. Like I wasn't leading the cow when she was champion, and you're standing back there, and you get pulled in the final few cows, and you think, well, maybe it could happen. But until that, that final second when your cow's nominated as the champion cow, and it becomes reality, it's very hard to believe, I think. And you just sort of, at the time, it's probably. Takes a little to sink in what's actually happened, because we've all had cows pulled out in the final few cows and not go any further. So you just never know how far you're going to go when you get to those final cows at the top of such a show as Dairy Week.
Absolutely. Look, Pat, though, for your family operation, and I guess you guys under the Nicholson family, it hasn't all been super rosy. Australia's long had some issues when it comes to water and access to it and affordability to it. Can you take us through a bit of what your family's been through over the years?
Yeah, I guess in the last 10 years anyway, the water issues in northern Victoria have caused a lot of grief for a lot of farming families, and we've certainly been touched as well. We have our own permanent water, but we also rely on the temporary water market. And when temporary water was going to $500, $600, $700 a megalitre, and drought years and feed costs were extremely high. We had a number of years where we struggled to get through, and actually ended up that in 2019 we sold the bulk of the milking herd as it was an option of going into more debt to purchase more feed to keep going. We opted to sell them. All the animals that were saleable at the time, which was about 270. As it turned out, it's been a great decision. The sale went really well. And since then, things have turned around seasonally. Not too much has changed as far as the actual water market and just a more favourable seasonal conditions. We've seen us return to milking over 400 cows again this season. A bit more positive outlook, I guess. At that time, when we sold the cows, we didn't know whether we'd even be continuing to dairy farm after that. We were having those tough talks about what other things we could do if we weren't milking cows. And myself and my brother Brendan, that's all that we really want to do, was to farm and to milk cows. So yeah, certainly tough times, but things are more favourable at the moment, and yeah, far more positive. But we still need a lot of change within the regulation of the whole water system, and yeah, whether we'll ever, small steps are being made, but a lot's got to change for it to be viable long term in northern Victoria and in southern New South Wales, for that matter. So,
of course, and look, going back to, I guess, that uncertainty when you were looking at, or when you did sell those cows in 2019. Obviously, it was the bulk of your younger herd, but it included actually a Dairy Week champion as well.
That's right. At the time, we sold a cow that had been immediate best starter at Dairy Week, and yeah, certainly to let cows like that go was very difficult at the time. We had no daughters from that cow, but when we made the decision to sell, we decided we were selling everything, that we weren't going to keep, a few special ones. We put everything up for sale, and that made it tougher at the time. But we're now milking, nearly 400 2- and 3-year-olds. A lot of nice young cows coming through. And while we don't have any daughters of the cow in particular, we have a daughter of a sister. And so, yeah, there's the opportunity to still keep that cow family going. And yeah, and looking at cows we've sold, and even that cow, she went on at the time, she was 91 points. She's now gone on to classify excellent 93 for her new owners. So it's been rewarding watching cows do well for other people that we've sold, even though it was hard to see them go at the time.
Of course, and look, you touched on it a bit, Pat, but looking back on it now to where you are, looking back on it to where you guys are now, it's looking much brighter. The future's looking brighter for you guys.
So yeah, it is at the moment, and yeah, certainly seasonally we've had a couple of seasons of very good rainfall. Commodity prices are much lower, and milk prices are much better as well. And I think unfortunately, the decline in the number of dairy farmers is actually, for those of us who are still left, has improved the outlook milk price wise going forward considerably. It's just a pity that we've lost so many fellow dairy farmers in the meantime, and especially in our area in northern Victoria. You drive around now and what was all dairy farms is now cropping or just hobby farms with horses. It's hard to see, but yeah, it's for those of us who are left, I think it's going to be more prosperous moving forward. But yeah, just a pity we've lost so many good dairy farmers in the meantime.
Of course. Do you guys count yourselves as, I guess, one of the lucky ones that have been able to find a way to continue?
I think so, yeah. And I think looking back, had we not done what we did, we may not be still where we are today. We would have to gone into a lot more debt to continue to keep those cows for that season. And once we made that decision, and as it's hindsight's a wonderful thing, but as it's turned out, it was certainly the right decision to make for us financially, and for our herd as well, I believe. We've got virtually a new herd of all 2- and 3-year-old young cows, a lot more heifers to come through too. I think the next couple of years we're going to see the benefits of all those young cows, and very pleased with what we've got today.
Yeah, look, it must have been frightening going through that process at the time, but a remarkable story to see how you guys were able to rebuild. Just incredible. Look, Pat, we are here, I guess, a lot of the time to talk about Dairy Week. How excited are you as a breeder, and I guess now as a judge, for next year to join us back in the ring?
Oh, it's fantastic that to see Dairy Week back in 2022. I think, we all missed it last year, and we've missed many things in the last 18 months to 2 years, and I think people are just really looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see what cows come out of the woodwork, because we've had virtually no local shows. Even on-farm challenges have been limited. There's been a lot of great cows out there that potentially people don't even know about. It'll be great to see all those cows back out in the ring and competing against each other. And it should be a magnificent show, I think. I think everyone's looking for something to do, somewhere to go, want to catch up with people. It should be a fantastic event, as it's always been, but I think, with that little extra this year.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess looking back, there was a cow, I guess it maybe comes to mind for me, a cow by the name of Koala, and she found herself with a championship title for year after year. Do you think we'll see a cow like that again in the Guernsey breed?
Oh, I guess it's possible, but she's certainly going to take a bit of rivaling, that's for sure. In any breed, and it doesn't matter whether it's a breed with many numbers or a breed with lesser numbers, to achieve what that cow achieved is quite remarkable. The fact that she was able to return year after year in such great form. Like, we've all had cows and we've only ever got them right once in their life, let alone to return year after year looking like that cow did. And to not just, win by a little bit, she won quite comfortably, really, when she graced the ring. So, certainly a magnificent cow and, a great ambassador for the breed.
Fantastic. Well, Pat, thank you so much for joining us for the podcast. We're so excited to be able to finally announce that, yes, you will be the judge for our Guernsey breed at International Dairy Week. We very much look forward to seeing you there, and obviously all of us catching up again as well. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to chat with you, and look forward to catching up with everyone at Dairy Week.
Beautiful. See you then.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Around the Barn. We hope you enjoyed hearing from each of our guests. If you like what we're talking about, make sure you hit the share button. That's all we've got time for. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.